Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major, and this is a review of the Russian Tier 5 premium cruiser, the Makarov, which is available for 10,000 doubloons. Now, the Makarov is practically just the Nuremberg, but it's like the post-war Nuremberg. Reason being is that following World War II and the surrender of Nazi Germany, Makarov was awarded to the Soviet Union via lottery as a war prize. Now, this is a Tier 4 and 5 game. On the enemy team is the Ochotnik, T-22, Mahan Division with Pensacola, Kirov, Devonshire, Bayern, Normandy, and it's a game of domination on shards. So when it comes to reviewing the ship, obviously I will do some comparisons to the tech tree Tier 5 cruisers as per usual, but also highlighting about practically every case the main differences, if any, between the Makarov and the Nuremberg. So when it comes to the survivability, in comparison to Nuremberg, exactly the same. So in comparison for the tier, you have the lowest HP at 27,000 and the below average torpedo reduction of only 7%. When it comes to the armour, it's obviously always best to go back to the board and have a look at the armour scheme. So, back in the port and taking a look at the arm scheme of the Makarov. Well, firstly, let's start off with the superstructure as per usual. It's practically 13mm plating all over, so it's not really going to be that efficient at stopping anything. Probably going to cause a lot of AP overpens, but also going to be a big sponge for high explosives. There are some sections which are slightly more thicker, which are the cistern up front, but that's a very tiny box in the grand scheme of things. Moving on to the bow and the stern, well, that's practically 20 to 60mm thick, which is sufficient to ricochet 8-inch AP, so that's quite interesting. There are some parts which are this thicker 35mm plating which can ricochet all AP, but those sections which are above the waterline are quite minimal and don't really seem to do much in regards to the overall protection. Now obviously there's a torpedo bulge which is only 90mm plating, but then again we have the main armoured belt behind that. When it comes to the upper hull or upper armoured belt, that's basically 20 to 50mm, so again able to ricochet mostly 8-inch. Now the front and rear bulkheads are capable of ricocheting 14-inch, which is quite interesting. So at least you can kind of angle your bow against that, but that is going to expose your sides quite a lot. And if anything's going to overmatch that armor, like in this case practically any battleship AP round, the top of the citadel isn't that thick either. It's only 20mm thick, so although you are going to have a slight benefit of spaced armour, I guess you could say, if you're broadside on and it's plunging, it's going to go straight through the upper armour and into the upper citadel, and your deck armour isn't even that thick either, so that's not going to be stopping much either. When it comes to the turrets and barbette, they're particularly well plated apart from the rear top and rear, which isn't as good. However, your turrets are usually going to be pointing towards the most deadliest threat, and therefore it's not going to be too much of an issue, I guess you could say. And that just leaves the citadel. Well, it is partially above water. You do have a partial turtleback, which is armoured to ricochet 14-inch on the sides. However, the top is not really sufficient to ricochet anything more than, it won't ricochet anything that's more than 8-inch AP. So as per the standard Nuremberg, a very poppable ship is the best way to put it. If something looks at you when you're broadside on, you're going to go pop very quickly, and if a battleship looks at you in practically any orientation, you're probably going to get very badly hurt. But that's the Makarov, and that's what she looks like, so let's go back to the game. So, going on to the artillery, won't surprise you, it is exactly the same as the Nuremberg. However, the main difference is that you do have 100 meters more gun range. So, you have 9 6-inch guns in 3 triple turrets. You have A turret up front, and then you have X turret super firing over Y turret at the rear, which is quite an interesting arrangement. And it's worth noting that the turrets do 360, or at least X and Y turret 360. A turret is still only really got about 300-degree rotation. It can't rotate past the bridge as per what you probably expect. So when it comes to these guns, you have the joint longest range of 14.9 kilometers. Now, she does have the trait extended range, however, it's not really that much extended. I mean, you're just the longest range, and in comparison to the Nuremberg, that's only 100 meters more, which isn't a lot. Now, you do have the shortest reload of 6 seconds, so you are able to chuck shells down range quite quickly, which is quite nice. You have a better than average turret traverse, which is 23.7 seconds per 180 degrees of rotation, and as we've already mentioned, X and Y turret can 360. Now, when it comes to the shells, you do have the lowest HE shell damage of 1,700, and you also have the lowest fire chance, which is only 8%. You also have a below average AP shell damage, which is 3,900. When it comes to your DPMs, it's quite good though, because of your very fast reload. You're looking at having the second best HE DPM, third best fires per minute, and the best AP DPM. Oh, very nice. When it comes to the torpedoes, again, exactly the same as the Nuremberg. However, you've only got 2 launchers rather than 4 launchers. So what you're equipped with is 2 triple launchers. Now these do have the second fastest launcher reload of 68 seconds. Best reload per tube, however. Also looking at having the second shortest range of only 6 kilometers. I need to really get my head in the game now. Let's see, we were talking about the range. Second fastest though, at 64 knots, so they do traverse downrange quite quickly. And you do have, well, the detectability of 1.3 kilometers, which is about average, which does mean that enemies will have a below average time to respond to these torpedoes due to their reasonable speed. Maneuverability, as expected, is exactly the same as a Nuremberg. Nothing really special going on here. So you are the second slowest at 32 knots. Furthermore, you're the largest turning circle, 720 meters, and the third best rudder shift of 7.6 seconds. Okay. Where's the Devonshire? Oh, there she is. Going on to the concealment. Now this is quite amusing. You're actually you're worse than the Nuremberg, which is rather surprising, I guess you could say. You'd probably expect it to be the same, but for some reason Russian paint is more detectable than German paint. So you have the worst detectability of 12.9 kilometers. Furthermore, you also have the second worst detectability by air, which is 7.7 kilometers. Right, back to focusing on the game. And you have the second worst detectability when firing smoke, even though you have exactly the same guns as the Nuremberg. Going back to talk about those guns very briefly, I did do some testing, comparing the Makarov and the Nuremberg in AI games, and the shell trajectory is exactly the same, so there's nothing really special or different there either, which is rather amusing. When it comes to the consumables, you have 2 sonar, but these aren't your typical German sonar that you've been used to on the Nuremberg. In fact, it's just your standard sonar that you get for a tier 5 cruiser. So it would detect ships at 4 kilometers, torpedoes at 2.8 kilometers, has a 92-second duration and 180-second reload. Furthermore, in comparison to the Nuremberg, you don't get a catapult fighter. One of the main differences between the Nuremberg and the Makarov is you do have an improved anti-aircraft complement for the Makarov, but that would make sense considering she's more of a post-war ship rather than a pre-war ship. So therefore, the necessity of an anti-aircraft suite that is sufficient would have been more in the minds for the Soviet Navy. As always, down in the description will be the commander build and the modules taken on the ship. For modules, I've taken aiming systems module 1 and steering gears module 2. And I don't think there's going to be much left of this game. It's a 2v4 and I've only got 7,000 HP left. And only if I can... We do get him. But that is all she wrote for this game. Really talking about her, would I purchase her with my own money? No. No way. She is not worth it. There's nothing really special about her, in all honesty. She might have slightly improved high explosive penetration. I think I've seen it's about 1/4. But apart from that, it really is just a Nuremberg with 100 meters more range, 2 less torpedo launchers, worse detectability, worse sonar, no aircraft, but better AA. And being a premium, she does earn you slightly more credits because she has slightly higher credit earning potential, but that's not really worth 10,000 doubloons at the end of the day. If she was a halfway campaign ship, maybe she might be a bit more potential as a reward. If she was a crate ship, I wouldn't complain about getting her out of a crate. I mean, if you get that crate for free, but as a premium ship, I wouldn't really say she's worth it in all honesty. Managed to do 62,000 damage, get 4 kills, 76 hits on target, 2 citadels, 4 torpedo hits, 3 floodings, 10 defender ribbons, a solo capture, and 6 entry hits, getting 2 devastating strikes. Coming top of the team, fair enough, but obviously it's a loss. Now, managed to walk away with a total profit of 336,000 credits. Ship service cost only 30,000 credits in this case, so she does make a lot of money, but she's just nothing special at the end of the day, I have to confess. Well, if you have enjoyed this, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. I say thank you to all the subscribers and the patrons. Down in the description is the modules, commander build, email address for the channel if you want to send your own game captures for the community spotlight video on a Monday, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel. Until next time, I'm the Gallop Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life